Okay, I'm just waiting for this to get set up. I think we're live. Hello and welcome everybody. This is Kate Krieg with you again. And today I'm coming to you in what I would say raw and unplugged. It's not the usual weekly time that I'd planned to have these sessions, but I want to do them also organically with things that come up for me. I'm really privileged to have someone really beautiful in my life, and actually I have a lot of beautiful people in my life. But I'm really privileged to have my husband, Ben, in my life, who wants to talk to me about all things making an impact in the world and really thinking about how we can up-level ourselves and what we can do in order to feel more authentic and really live a life with purpose and in line with our values versus our limiting beliefs, if you like. And we were having this really deep conversation last night because as I was reflecting on the way to go and collect our little ladies from childcare, I was thinking, what is it really that separates somebody from living this sort of three-dimensional existence? And if you think about quantum physics or spirituality, they sort of talk about three-dimensional and four-dimensional, five-dimensional life, etc. So, what is a three-dimensional life, and what does it take for somebody to move from a three-dimensional life into a five-dimensional life, if you like? And see, this is raw and unplugged. I've also got my cat who just wants to be cuddled all day, and I want to allow that. I want to honor her and give her pats and let her sit on my lap. But, I was really thinking, the answer is definitely a level of consciousness and conscientiousness also. And I was thinking about this because a lot of people spend their time creating certainty in their life. And that's exactly what they get. They get this certain, they have a familiarity with their existence that makes them feel really comfortable. And the three-dimensional existence is very much, when you think about it visually, people are living a very physical life. They're in touch with themselves physically. They are dealing with their everyday existence, and they are wading through their life on a day-by-day basis and just really living and just really experiencing life as a physical representation and as a physical being. And, I often think about what that might look like in terms of if you had a movie. And I see the three-dimensional existence as often people commuting, let's say, to and from their workplace when we could, and living an existence where they've got this blank expression on their face. They're really unconscious. They're living in this life that's very automatic, and it's filled with this beautiful certainty, that we do strive to create. And I certainly feel that since we have evolved as human beings, we strive to create more and more certainty. I feel the majority of us strive to create more and more certainty in their life. But what that certainty creates is this level of sameness and this level of consistency in a way that's maybe not aligned with somebody authentically, or not enabling them to really fully express themselves creatively or fully express themselves to their fullest and best potential. And so this three-dimensional existence is often, I end up coaching so many people. I know a lot of you that are engaging with, some of you engaging with this are already my clients, individual or group clients. And you would have heard me speak about this in some ways before, but for those of you who haven't, I really feel that this existence is, we struggle to get to the next level because we're just so used to doing the do and being the be and responding to our environmental triggers and other things, that we don't connect back to our authenticity. And I feel like, this is what I was going to say, I actually lost my train of thought, but I feel like when we get to the age of 40s or 50s, and this is sort of, I'm coaching people usually age 35 and above, who are going, I want to make a bigger impact, and I want to be able to live an authentic life, and I want to be able to feel like I'm not sacrificing my health and my well-being, but I'm actually, playing bigger and stepping outside the edge of my existing comfort zone. And we don't want to go too far out of our comfort zone because that can create overwhelm and lack of action, to be honest. But we want to stay within this beautiful sweet spot. But most people are not. We're playing it very safe because we love the certainty. And the people that are coming to me are going, oh my gosh, I've played it safe for so long. I've also been responding to other people's agendas, and I am acting out of fear and doubt and worry or uncertainty or these other things. And now I'm kind of going, wow, is that all there is? And how do I get to this next level? And how do I up level my life and my business and my health? And what would it take for me to do that and be more aligned? And for those of you, I call my weekly series Deeply Connected, because for me, deep connection to your authenticity, deep connection to your vision, and having some crystal clear clarity on who you want to be and what your life wants to look like and the positive impact you want to make, not only for yourself, but for other people. I mean, this is something that I coach people about a lot. And this is sort of the theme of that connectivity and connecting to how things make you feel in the moment. I don't want to be living an existence where all of a sudden I get to my goal, get to the top, or achieve that thing I wanted. And then I go, oh my gosh, I don't like being here. This doesn't feel good. That's exactly what happened to me when I was working in the corporate Australia, I call it. I'd worked really hard. I'd achieved all these massive goals and I got to these executive positions. And my most recent position, I'll never forget, I was earning great money and I was really pushing myself in terms of some of the corporate decisions that I was making and the engagements I was having. And, I felt really, really, I felt like that was me achieving my goal. But I had this sense of dread and I had this sense of disappointment as I looked around. And I thought, is that all there is? Is that seriously what I've been striving to achieve? Now, here I am at the top. And unfortunately, when you're looking around and people aren't aligning to your values and not wanting to have the impact that, I really want to make an impact in this world. This is something I'm deeply connected to, wanting to make a very positive impact in people's lives. And my goal is to really raise the consciousness of the planet through one individual at a time. Because once we can start to raise our consciousness and start to be more aware of who we are, our authentic self, and align our actions and behaviors in alignment with our values and who we are and who we're striving to be and the impact we want to make in this world, that's when people start to have huge shifts without sacrificing their health or well-being at the same time. And so I'll never forget, and Ben and I were talking about this last night, is he goes, yeah, I remember you got there, you did it. And then all of a sudden you went, no, this doesn't feel good. I'm not living a life of authenticity and of joy and a joy and abundance in all areas. I was lacking a lot in fulfillment. I wasn't feeling fulfilled, and a lot of people that I speak to, a lot of my clients, and maybe you that are listening as well, like, do you have that sense of lack of fulfillment? And do you feel that, especially, I think COVID has made people realize this so much, that we were just working ourselves to the bone. And a lot of my clients come to me and say, my God, I've just neglected myself. And now that I'm starting to really focus on me, I'm starting to realize that what I've been doing hasn't been aligned with me authentically. And now I'm ready for the next best thing. Now I want to up level myself. And this is what, COVID has done for some people, but this is exactly what I see happening in the world. Is we're now starting to accept that there is a level of consciousness that comes with our existence. And one of my biggest things is I don't want people to get to age 40s and 50s and 60s, and I'm coaching people in their 70s sometimes, and they're saying, I want to make my life count. I want to make it feel meaningful. And it's about the journey as much as it is the end destination. And I talk about this. Goals are great, but identity-based goals are even better, because it's not about getting to that big goal. It's about who you become in that process. It's about up leveling your whole life and actually making such a big impact for you and other people. That's what's really important. And so, when I was talking to Ben and, I guess for me, when we were saying, how I left the safety and security of a well-paying executive position that ticked all my boxes, that achieved all those goals, but it wasn't in line with my identity. And I'm not suggesting that people go out and quit their jobs or do anything like that, but it's about asking yourself the question, am I aligned to the person I want to become or be? And am I authentically expressing myself through my business or life in a way that makes me feel authentic and feel like I'm living out my values each day? And, so what I did is I ripped the stability and the comfort and I've always been the main breadwinner of the family. And, I ripped that out and I leapt through this barrier. I likened it yesterday to jumping into an ice bath. That's how I made all my decisions. It's like, right, okay, so I'm going to feel the fear and do it anyway, So I'm going to pull the rug out and I'm going to start taking action in things that feel aligned to me. And, what made me feel good and the impact I was already making in the world. And so I was able to look at the golden thread of my life. And I was able to say, where was it? And what have I been doing authentically this whole time that's been consistent that really lead to what my next big thing is? And for me, it was definitely that relationship, the coaching, the empowering others. And because I'd had such significant outcomes in my life through the things that I was doing, but also learning, I felt that that's where I could make the biggest, most positive impact in other people's lives. And that's been what I've been doing since, for the last 5, almost 6 years. And what was fascinating is when I leaned into it and I took the action, I dipped myself into that ice bath. For those Wim Hof lovers, I dipped myself into the ice bath. And what happened is I was able to attract beautiful people into my life. I was setting boundaries and doing other things. And I was able to make huge impacts for them in their life, which in turn impacted me. And my first year in business, I broke through to the 6 figures. And I continued to be able to do that even though I had babies. And what was the difference between me and what I see with my clients, going from this 3-dimensional existence of just existing with certainty and familiarity and sameness, and potentially not living their authentic self and align with how they can make a bigger impact for themselves and others without sacrificing their health and well-being. I want to keep repeating that because that's a really important part of it, is when they got to a new level of consciousness, right? They got to this new 5th dimensional level of consciousness. They started to look internally at what made them feel good. What was that golden thread in their life? And what is something that is authentic to them and what makes them feel good? And for those of you who aren't part of my group or individual coaching programs, a lot of my work is involved in helping people with self-coaching skills and enabling them to create a level of awareness and consciousness in their existence and really help wake them up to be able to play at a bigger level while still feeling really authentic, aligned, and harmonious in their life. And so some of the things I get them to do is consider the types of questions they're asking themselves and consider the types of actions they're taking, and to really, there's a formula that I go through to really help people look at their level of consciousness in their decision making and whether or not that consciousness is actually serving them well to this new vision that they connect with for themselves and the world. I feel that we all have, a responsibility and a potentially, I've got a really strong passion to lift the consciousness of ourselves, but also the planet. And how we do this is by firstly recognizing our own level of consciousness and being able to, push ourselves in ways that make us feel good, push ourselves in a way that makes us feel good so that we can raise the consciousness of ourselves and, as a result, other people and the planet. And so, and that they're at that space, in that beautiful level of consciousness, in that beautiful 5th dimension, this is where we can tap into our creativity and have that beautiful creative flow through us. And this is where the fear and the uncertainty and that worry mindset can be quietened, because we get to have the safety of this comfort of consciousness, knowing that every action we're doing is aligned with this beautiful, authentic way of being and authentic impact we have. And for those of you who I work with and other people who may have experienced this as well, what feels like magic is how the universe just rearranges itself to serve you. People follow a made-up mind, and the universe just really, it catches on. And there's something called the reticular activating system that really helps with this. What you focus on, you attract into your life. You've probably heard that before. And it's actually a scientific term. And once you start to tap into this level of consciousness and this level of awareness, and be able to focus on the things that are authentic to you and make you feel really good with this golden thread of your life, and start making decisions based on your values, not on your stories or limiting beliefs or creating certainty in your life. That's when you get to express yourself authentically. That's when you get to start to show up in the world and to be able to create such a big impact. And that's where I see people going from leading a life that, you know, maybe they don't feel good in, or all the way through to people leading a life where they are, you know, getting promotions, changing careers, making more money, doing other things. But it's not because that's the goal. It's because they're able to authentically live this life that they want to lead, that has a really positive impact in not only their life, but other people's lives. You know, we want to hold the vision for others as well. And it doesn't matter what it is. It's, you know, I feel for me, you know, as somebody who works with entrepreneurs, professionals, to help them really connect with their authentic self and be able to express themselves in a way that makes them not only have a greater impact in their life, but also feel more authentic and happy and fulfilled and well. That idea of having a positive impact to other people other than themselves doesn't have to be, like, for me, you know, I positively impact my clients, you know, that's, and I'm positively impacting other people when I'm showing up like this. Yeah. You know, so I've got so many messages and emails and direct text messages and Facebook messages from people who've been listening to my recent weekly posts saying how valuable it's been. So, you know, me showing up is impacting the world. And so, you know, that makes me that fuels me, you know, that's what gives me energy to keep showing up in the world, because of the impact I'm making. For other people, it might be just the positive impact it has on your family, or the positive impact it has on your customers or your employees or your peers or your colleagues or your friends. You know, it doesn't have to be major. It can be minor, or it can start off small. You know, we want to build into this. We don't want to just suddenly try and create these massive shifts in our life where it's not sustainable. You know, we want to create a beautiful existence that feels good, that we're not burning ourselves at both ends, and that's creating harmony. So anyway, I wanted to bring that to you today because it's just something I'm really passionate about, and to be able to have those really awesome conversations with Ben and keep them to ourselves is something that I you know, but thanks for your feedback. Thanks for telling me it's you're resonating with what I'm saying is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring this to you today, raw and unplugged, as I called it. And yeah, to hopefully give you some things to ponder in your life, you know, because that pondering leads to that awareness. That's the start of it. That's the start of these big shifts and these big outcomes. And I want you to ask yourself, where am I being really super certain in my life? And, you know, what would it look like if I created a level of change, which equals a little bit of uncertainty, in order to help me be more able to express myself authentically and be able to create a bigger impact? You know, this is what I want you to consider. I invite you to consider, you know, if you want to, because that's where it all starts. You know, it's this level of, wow, I wonder what my life would look like if I, you know, did live my life looking like this. And what I mean looking is that identity base. What if and what is it where could I make some tweaks and adjustments in my life to help me create a bigger impact for myself and for other people? So anyway, thank you so much for being here. And again, for all your comments and feedback. And I'm really enjoying being able to show up to you in the world as well, and be the type of being that I want to be, and that's courageous and action oriented. And these are all the beautiful traits that I've had from the beginning, and what served me so well, and what's enabled me to create such a big impact in my life, and to be able to help other people as well, is this courageousness and this action oriented and living by my values, and constantly reflecting and refining who I am as a person and how I'm showing up. So thank you for being with me. And yeah, I look forward to being with you again. I'll be, you know, you never know, I might be coming to you raw and unplugged again. But as always, I'll be seeing you next week for deeply connected series. And yeah, I hope you have a beautiful rest of the week and weekend wherever you are. And I'll see you soon. Okay, lots of love. Bye.